What's good, what's poppin', what's here, what it is, what it do, what's up? This is Lindo, yes, and you already know you're watching Drop the Mic, where you're witnessing the jazz of the literary art, the last element of hip-hop, and I like to think of this as the producers of culture and innovative thoughts that you can get nowhere else besides Community College of Philadelphia, because we're on tour, and right now we're at main campus on Spring Garden, and we have Drop the Mic, which is
a six-time Emmy-nominated televised slam competition here at the Community College of Philadelphia, baby. We here, we do this, baby. We do it, okay? We have students from, honestly, all over the world at this point coming to share what is most authentic to them and what makes them special. And I can give y'all more, but we're right here in the Black Box Theater on main campus, ready to get round 2 started. Y'all ready? Yeah. Y'all ready? Yeah. Before we do any of that, though, we have a panel of extremely awarded, decorated, prestigious judges for you, and we shall start off with the creator of Drop the Mic, Dr. Michelle Myers.
Thank you, Marquise and Lindo. So yes, my name is Dr. Michelle Myers. I'm an associate professor in the English department here at Community College of Philadelphia. I'm the faculty coordinator for Drop the Mic and one of the creators of the show. And I want to give a shout out to the other creator of the show, Alan Kobernick, who retired a couple of years ago. But we always keep Alan in our heart, and we're hoping that he'll be here for the final showcase next week. Can we give it up for Alan for being a co-creator of Drop the Mic? And then I'd like to introduce our amazing panel of judges. And so right next to me is Alicia Dantzler. Please give it up for Alicia. Alicia is a graduate of Community College of Philadelphia. She has her associate's and bachelor's degree in behavioral health. She is an ABA therapist who works with children with disabilities. And she also is pursuing her graduate degree, getting her master's. So please give it up for Alicia. We're always so happy to have graduates from CCP. She was also a member of the Spoken Word Poetry Club when she was here as a student, so I'm always happy to see my Spoken Word Poetry Club students come back. And next to Alicia, we have Professor Quinn Eli. Please give it up for Professor Eli. Professor Eli is a professor in the English department, is an assistant professor in the English department here at Community College of Philadelphia, and he is the head of a theater program. And we have to thank Professor Eli for allowing us to film Drop the Mic here in the beautiful Black Box Theater on main campus. So please give it up for Professor Eli. And next to Professor Eli, we have Dr. Keisha Watson. Please give it up for Dr. Watson. I'm surrounded by my colleagues in the English department today, and so that's a beautiful thing. She is an assistant professor in the English department. She specializes in poetics, and she has lectured all over the country about poetry. So we're so happy to have her here. Please give it up one more time for our judges.
Thank you, judges. Thank you, contestants. So you're about to see, again, this is round 2. Second round of the last audition show for Drop the Mic here at main campus. So you are going to see our 12 contestants come back up here and give y'all the best of them before we cut it down to the top 4 headed to the finals, which will also be here at main campus, so you don't want to miss any of that. Today, our performers, contestants are performing original pieces at the length of 3 minutes and 15 seconds. That's their time. When they get up here, they have the time to do their piece delivered to you, the best of them, for 3 minutes and 15 seconds. The top 4, again, will move on to the final round in our next show. And the main thing that we need from you, because they're going to give a lot to us, but the main thing we need from you, especially our audience here in the studio, is your energy. Can you give me some energy? If you hear, see, feel anything that you like, you can do a few things. You can get some snaps for me. You can hit them with a hit them with a yes. Or in bold, yes.
Yes.
And we can keep this going and keep the energy flowing. How you feeling, Lindo?
I'm feeling good, and I'm excited about our first performer because they did such a wonderful job in the first round, and they're now here for the second round. We have Mar, but the poet on deck is
Royalty. So on deck is royalty. But right now, give it up for Mar.
Red is black, remembering. Like fine wine, I age. My richness making me more palatable, while my youth makes me more marketable. I am thrown in front of the looking glass, forced to stare at my reflection as I long to disappear inside like Alice. But when I step through and come out the other end, this world is still there. And my ego is bruised with my heart in tatters, my mind wrinkling and decaying each time I submerge myself. I wish I could go through to my own mysterious world, get lost in the fantasy of the wonderland, each bend and burrow made up of the childhood I long to remember. The dancing through halls, breathing life into night, into fairy, into God, wand and shield in my hand as I give birth to sandcastles. With only the simple flick of my wrist topples them like building blocks. Then I am soaring through the sky, my fingertips brushing through clouds of wool while I'm saddled on a swing, fading into an ideal white as our heaven is just one touch away. And then, one day, my eyes opened, and I could suddenly see this world beyond its animated features. My mind was much older than my skin. The blocks I built were being sold and used. Real estate, they called it. And my memories were just dreams I had when I was awake. Fantasies lost in a sea of the forgotten. Red is black, remembering.
how you feel this round compared to the first round?
I feel better.
Okay. Well, you sound better. I love your poetry. But let's see what the judges feel. Dr. Michelle Myers, can you start us off?
Yeah, I really love this poem too, Mar. I mean, I know you said you felt better this round. Maybe you just feel a little bit more, maybe inside you feel more confident. But I think in the first round that you also exuded confidence. You have a very mellow, easygoing way of delivering your poem, which I really appreciate because it has a soothing tone. Your voice has a very soothing tone, and it draws me in. And in listening to this poem and comparing it to the poem that you performed in round one, what I really love about the messaging in your poem is the tension that you create between the question, like, you know, what's real and what's imagined, and collapsing those two things together, right? So there is the reality that exists within your own internal world and how that is juxtaposed to the external world, and they don't align, and you want them to align. And so you do that really brilliantly with the mirror, but with everything too, like being like kind of grounded, but then also taking flight. Like, there's so many different ways in which you play with that whole concept throughout this poem, and I find it to be very beautiful. So thank you. Thank you so much. I love this piece.
I really enjoy your word choice. It's very descriptive. You take us on a creative journey. I like the fact that you started off. I was in that moment with you. I'm not going to hold you. Red is black, like fine wine I age. I felt like I had my cup, and I'm just like, like I was there. Like, and I like that you, and even the real estate in your mind. Like, we can hear stuff in different ways. I think you choose to say it particularly so it sticks with you. So I can appreciate how you choose your words, but then choose the placements of where you want to put them to take us on this creative journey with you. And it's a beautiful poem. Thank you.
As someone who lives for theater, I can pay you the sort of highest compliment of all. So theatrical, and I mean that in the best possible way. If theater is about immediacy and engaging readers and engaging audiences with images that they can really grab hold of and follow through in order to trace the ideas, then this was theatrical in the most excellent sense. The imagery was terrific, the word choices were terrific, And the structure was different. You kept it in this sort of very, I mean this in the best possible, this sort of contained way, so that even when we were challenged in some of the places you were going on the journeys, you always made sure we got oriented again. It was terrific.
One of the things I thought of is you as a warrior of the mind. That's what kept coming to me. And it came from the line about wand and shield in my hand, and then soaring on clouds of wool. The images, and this is what I picked up too, the images are very reminiscent of modernism, early modernism, where you're capturing a bite of time in images. Beautiful.
I like to think of it as a good thing. I want, given I've taken a bit of a hiatus from writing itself, I want more people to see what I can do. I want more people to look at my writing I love the feedback. I love it.
Poet on deck is Teb Teb, but coming to the stage, we have Royalty. Oh, you got more bars for us? You got more bars?
Yes. Thank you. Look, me and you a stalker. I told you that it's super creepy, and every girl on your page probably wanna be me, probably wanna see me. I'm thinking that they easy, cause they ain't smart like me, they don't go hard like me, and I'm pretty sure they don't got the bars like me. It's really so embarrassing. Yeah, it's really no comparison. Look, they got me undecided. The flame is not ignited. They really test my patience when I told them not to try it. Stunning for attention, all up in my mentions. Man, settle down, I send you to the tension. It's really so embarrassing. It's really no comparison, cause I am at the top, you at the bottom. Where you settled and you copy all my moves. You copy all my style. Me, you're really lucky I ain't put you on trial. Cause you could be like Tori, or you could be like Kelly, or I could have you in jail screaming free Melly. I'm sure you get the point. Why you smoking on a joint instead of back down, cause you looking like a clown? You really made me laugh, so I treat you like a joke. Then I went and took a lighter and I gave you all the smoke. Yeah. I'm really so intelligent. Your name is so irrelevant. Your name is so irrelevant. The way that I'm looking, you would think I am elegant, and really I am heaven sent. You are just Satan's kids. Take a little shot with your arrow, and I bet you miss. Bet you ain't beating me. No, you can't compete with me. Henceforth, that's why they call me Queen T. Switch it up to royalty. Man, I'm really loyal to you. Look how long I'm staying in the school, and I don't mean that's some cruel, but honestly, I'm really just better than dude. Not a rookie, I'm a vet. Always chasing a check. Spin a bag and make a bet. It's how I know I'm the best. Yeah.
Don't kill him, son. Don't kill him, son. First round, second round. How you looking?
I feel good.
Hey, I sound so. Let me take it over to the judges. Alicia.
The show is called Drop the Mic, and she be like, I'm about to come up here every time and drop. It's so cute though. You be on your chill, and then come up there like every time with the mic. I really like the lines. First of all, I could not write everything down, so I just wrote the 2 lines that I was able to get down because you have line after line after line. My only critique is to take a breath so we can catch every line. You have so much to say, and I want to hear it all. But I really like the it's really so embarrassing. It's no compare. That's the poem. Like, you up here, that's the rap. That's the bars. It's really no comparison. And all the smoke. You gave us all the smoke. All the smoke. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was terrific. And I want to say something about how important it is to enjoy one's own work. Part of the great pleasure of that was that you enjoy what you're saying, and you know, and you lean into it, and you should. You know, there's nothing to feel self-conscious about. You've got wonderful language here, wonderful images here, and you're having a good time out there. And the more you have a good time, the more the audience will as well. So I appreciated that you were so generous with us, with your enthusiasm for the work. You made us engage with that as well, and it made it such a great experience.
So it's funny, when you said the word bars, I had written bars down at the same time, which was cool. I appreciate the bars. I appreciate the smoke. And it's interesting. I actually like when you took that break and slowed down a bit, because you have a rhythm that is going. It's a constant rhythm. But when you break that rhythm, there's a moment for the audience to take a breath and enjoy your lyrics. And I love the braggadocio. You're just like telling, the world that you are a queen. So I appreciated that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm going to echo many of the points that my fellow judges made. And from the moment you got to the mic, I really enjoyed your confidence. I enjoyed the attitude, right? The energy that you exuded when you got up on the stage. I feel like, last round you came up and you were a bit tentative, but here you were like ready to go, you know what I mean? And so I really enjoyed seeing that from you this round. I think you have such clever wordplay. I loved how you flip things, right? And your rhymes, you have a great delivery, right? Very, it's a, very smooth delivery, but rapid fire, right? It's a very smooth delivery, but rapid fire. And I said this to you last round too, it's like that spitfire, right? And that's what it sounds like. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that in the context of a spoken word poetry competition, like your audience kind of needs to have a moment to be able to process so they can appreciate, right? Like some of that clever wordplay and those rhymes and stuff, you know what I mean? So I love a rapid fire delivery. I'm guilty of that myself, but I think like to let us really appreciate those moments with you, like work in more pauses. But it was great. It was really great. I love this piece.
One more time for royalty.
I think it went well. I feel like I did better than I did the first time. I feel a little more confident, and I feel like I have the spark in me now.
But coming up to the stage right now, give it up for Tev Tev.
Partner translations. After 30 years of life, I have generated a running list of partner translations. I've been working on this list since I was a jit. I'm from Florida, we say jit. Before the glow up, and I'd like to share if you have the time. Of course you have the time, and I have the stage, so humor me, please. If you have the time, or if your time has brought you more clarity, feel free to share some ideas with me after, or you may disagree. So a popular one, of course. When you ask, is everything okay after you've done nothing, she responds, I'm fine, means ask the right questions or die. When you ask, is everything okay after she's done something wrong, she responds, I'm fine, means don't ask any questions, just apologize because it was your fault. When you ask if everything is okay when you've done something wrong, just listen. There is nothing you can say to fix it. You have now become the conduit for everything her father deserves. Being quiet will only remind her of his absence. Saying sorry will only remind her of what he actually is. So I'm fine in this instance means just take it until she comes back to the reality that you've loved her more than he ever did. And when it's all done, apologize. You shouldn't have messed up like he did. Another popular one. If you ask, are you hungry? She responds, I'm fine. Ask the right questions or you won't be spoken to until she decides to. Sometimes a safe follow-up, what would you like to eat? If she responds, I don't know, I'm fine. Look, I got you. I learned a good answer to this from TikTok, before the ban. You may respond, I've been meaning to take you to that restaurant you mentioned last week, but couldn't remember the name. If she responds with the name of the restaurant, we in there bring the swimwear. Now, one must also be cognizant that this doesn't always work. She could also respond, you never listened to me, at which point your silence will be seen as an affirmation of her truth, the audacity for you to believe that it is possible to be a good man. She's never known them to exist, so try as you may, you can never fix what he messed up. You can only fill the space until she heals for herself, until she realizes no one can save her but herself. She can't tell you what she's hungry for because there is no restaurant that could serve up her father's love to make up for how long she starved for his presence. It is a sad place to be a man hoping to fill shoes that have never been worn. Another I've learned is if she comes to you with problems, solving them is not the solution. Hold space to listen. Never bring accountability into that space because that is not a part of her love language. Listen. Listen. For there is no space for a man in a safe space. More so, she's never felt a man in a safe space, so don't make it your mission to create one. You ain't 007. James Bond could never be black. This mission is impossible. This mission is impossible, and you ain't Tom Cruise. There is no amount of saving you can do to save her from the reality that the only person that can fix what he messed up is her. Kind men, Remember the grace you have that was gifted to you by your mother is reserved for your wife and your daughters. You are human, no Superman. So protect your heart so your daughters and your wife don't have to mend the wounds that you created trying to save someone you were never supposed to, whom you never put in peril, whom only used you as a space filler. Remember what your mother told you, son, I am teaching you so no one else has to. So never let anyone else tell you you owe them healing for scars you never made. Love them still, but love yourself more. You don't just fill spaces and lives. You are the backdrop to every painting of the celestial bodies in the night sky. You are the sun I raised to bring life and love to even the coldest planets, but do not take yourself for granted. And remember the love you have for others are fruits of seeds I planted. So if ever a love doesn't feel like mine, I want you to remember what it meant to be the center of someone's universe, what it means to be my son. Poem.
You saying poem was the drop the mic moment. So I believe we left off with Professor Quinn Ellie. Did I say your name correct?
No, it's Eli, but you're fine.
Eli,
yeah,
pardon
no,
me,
you're
pardon
fine.
me.
Look, that was wonderful. And the kind of thing that I actually don't usually like, the sort of matter-of-factness of the tone, that's exactly what gives it its power. You're talking about very delicate, very complex, very human ideas. And the fact that you're sort of doing it in somewhat of a matter-of-fact manner gives it its power, because we're reminded by the way you recite it of the universality of so much of what you're talking about. That's what that does. A more heightened presentation, for example, would draw our attention to the presentation and might draw our attention away from the words. But what you're doing, the style that you've adapted for this, it's really forcing us to focus on the words, and that's so rewarding for us. So that was terrific. Thank you.
I was reminded of Junot Diaz's This Is How You Lose Her. I don't know if you know that. But it's almost like a manual. So that's what I got from this, that it's a kind of how-to, a manual, very TikTok-y. So I thought that in that sense, you really captured this moment of how people are making sense of the world, which is through social media. And I think you really captured that voice. Of sort of a TikTok reel when somebody's just like breaking it down. But underneath that is, like Professor Eli said, a deep and profound sadness that many of us have because of that absent father. Thank you.
Yeah, I think another aspect of the structure of this piece that I really appreciated was the layering, the way that you layered storytelling in this piece. Because you're telling the story of the partner at the same time that you're telling, or the speaker of the poem, right, is telling their story. So there's the layering of those things and how the meaning gets transferred from one to the other. And then, you know, there's the transfer is part of the translation, right? So there's the translation that's happening in the piece itself, right, through the speaker. But what's missing is, even though there's the story that's being told of the partner, we don't necessarily know the translation that's happening on the partner, and we only get it through the mediation of, you know, the speaker of the poem. And so I find that layering and that transference to be very fascinating, and I really enjoy that. And I think also too, as far as your delivery approach, I really, because for me, sitting here listening to you, I liked listening to you without necessarily having to watch you perform. And I think that works very well for you, because even though you're reading your poem, you don't sound like you're reading your poem. Do you know what I mean? And so that makes your performance very powerful. I do have to point out that you did go over time, though. Did you notice that? Did you see that? Yeah. So, but it is a great piece. I do want to say, at some point we have to also acknowledge, right, the poem, we need to be here for the poem itself too, right, regardless of time. And the piece is a great piece. So I just want to make sure I say that.
Yeah, so I was writing, right, and I was having my little jots, and I'm like, so it was certain parts where I wanted you to take your time, because I feel like you were trying to get through the line, and I wanted you to take your time, and then I looked over, and I'm like, well, he gotta get through the piece. So let me just scratch that out. I saw that TikTok that you talking about. I don't even be on TikTok. I saw it though, and it's very relatable. I think that's something that I really enjoy about your poetry and your storytelling is it is relatable. You had a moment where you just like snapped. That's what I call it. You had a moment where you just snapped and you just like got in your rhythm and you were spitting. I want to see more of that throughout the poem because I think, as Michelle said, I can't tell that you're reading. I can't really see, like, even when I look down and I look back up, I can't tell that you're reading from your phone. So I think you do a good job at just guiding with your voice and with your gestures. It doesn't feel like there's a phone there. So I want to feel more of those snap moments where I feel like you're all the way in the poem. And I think you did a really good job.
I feel pretty good. Last piece, I feel good about the content and everything. I just went over. I tried to take my time and ended up taking too much time. So we'll see whether or not that affects me greatly on moving on. But overall, happy that I pulled up, actually performed, and yeah, showed up for myself.
But coming to stage is potential. You got potential. You. I got that song stuck in my head now.
Thank you all again. Welcome to this round 2 and this part 2. Kind of get a little bit of answers from the last one. Bae, I'm falling, I feel lost without you, yeah. Bae, I'm falling, I feel lost without you, yeah. I know I could have treated you better, I'll need you forever, I just seem to recognize that love's been weaponized. Am I the only one that's hurt? Am I the only one that's hurt? I lived a messy life, Ronaldo Messi-like, but I've been blessed divine on demon devil time. I need a second chance, a second time, and another one. In record time, I think I really did it this time. Chemtrails is what she's talking. She's trying to put a pesticide. I can give the best advice, but I don't hear my best advice. I need to be exercising, baptizing henna twice. I'm falling, I feel lost without you, yeah. Bae, I'm falling, I feel lost without you, yeah. I know I could have treated you better, I'll need you forever, I just seem to recognize that love's been weaponized. Am I the only one that's hurt? Am I the only one that's hurt? Yeah. I'm falling. Bae, I'm falling, I feel lost without you, yeah. Bae, I'm falling, I feel lost without you, yeah. Bae, I'm falling, I feel lost without you, yeah. I know I could have treated you better, I'll need you forever, I just seem to recognize that love's been weaponized. Am I the only one that's hurt? Am I the only one that's hurt? Drops the mic.
Round 2, baby, how you feeling?
Solidified and valid and happy of my own progress that I've done.
Word. All right. So, with that being said, we're going to start off with Dr. Watson.
So, on the most fundamental level, this is a plea to a loved one where you're saying that I'm lost and you want to be baptized in the love that may have been lost, not quite sure. So again, it's that blues repetition where you are insisting on what you're saying to the loved other. That I really appreciate in this, because it's like you're doubling and tripling down on saying what you want to say to your person. So that although on the surface is simple, it's actually not, because love is not simple, and loss is not simple, and grief is not simple. So I really, I want to say that I appreciate that. And once again, you're switching registers. You start out in one, where I'm starting to expect one thing from you, and then you start to speak almost like a chant, and then you come back again with the music, with the rhythm. So thank you very much. I appreciated that.
Yeah, so I really appreciate, like, thinking again back to the performance that you shared last round, and, you know, keeping that in mind with the piece that you shared this round. I really appreciate how committed you are to the performance of both pieces. You are definitely very confident in your delivery, and you know, I think that we as an audience feel that sense of confidence from you. And you know, as you gave the context for this piece as you were setting it up, right? There's a progression there from the first piece to this piece now. The first piece being, you know, sort of you see the breakup coming, and you want to try to prevent the breakup. You know what I mean? Like you feel the relationship is changing. You're trying to say, okay, I don't understand like where things have changed here, but you know, I want to try to talk to you. I'm trying to figure it out, right? Here now it's happened. And so, you know, you want the person back, as Dr. Watson was saying. And so for me, like the first piece was, you know, where is that moment where the love or the relationship goes sour? Can we pinpoint that moment? Or is it like something that just happens gradually? Like how does that evolve, right? And then afterwards, in this case, you asking for the person back, how has that pain, that heartbreak changed the two of you, right? Whether you get back together or not, right? So I appreciate the message of your piece, so thank you. Thank you so much for that.
I think you committed to the harmony just a little bit more of this one. I'm like, no, y'all gonna rock with me, because I was over here bopping. I would like, in the future, if I hear you spit again, which I hope to, I would like to hear more of your bars. The hook is cool. I could rock with it, but you actually got, like, you're saying a lot in, like, some of those, like, smaller, I was vibing, and I'm like, oh, he said messy life, Ronaldo messy like, I'm like, oh, wait, he's still playing games, that's kind of dope, that's kind of clever, like, you have these moments where it's just, like, these little lines in between. I'll be wanting to hear more of that, because I think we get to feel more of you, hearing more of you in those lines, or whatever topic that you're given. It's just a wordplay, and it's so subtle, but it's there. It's so much there, and I want to hear more of that. That's it.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with everything that's been said. There's a complexity to this that is so subtle, and then once it hits you, it grabs you by the throat. Things creep up on the listener in a way that that's a testament to your talent, that you sort of put it out there and then give us an opportunity to think about it a little more. This is completely part of the blues vernacular, as you were saying. You know, that sort of repetition, that willingness, or that combination of fear and willingness to sort of look at an open wound, to address it, because there's no way to fix it unless you address it, but at the same time, it's terrifying to address it, right? All of that, so you're in constant conflict with yourself in that, and that conflict is a familiar space for anybody that's ever been in love, that's ever lost anyone. So when I tell you that this was blues par excellence, I really mean it. And I don't know if that's the tradition you were trying to capture, but you should feel really good that you did.
Real life. As I said in the previous interview, spoken word is a lot like vocal journalism to me. So the songs that I just performed today through spoken word are true. And so it arrived from, those two particular ones arrived from heartbreak.
But coming up to the mic right now, give it up for Inside.
He traveling from coast to coast. He a military man of high morals. See him in your city, it won't be long. He fuck up your world, then go back home. He a military man, military man. He a military man living in the shadows. Military man, military man. He a military man of high morals. Stayed up late, I was waiting for a text, but you was at home playing house with your bitch. And the worst thing about the situation is, you let me know what it was from the rip. Damn, I can't get it off my brain. It was only one time about to go insane. When we first met, yeah, we was like magnets. This was meant to be, yeah, all of it is kismet. Said you had a girl, but you a little curious. Caught me by surprise, cause you knew what to do with it. Silence filled the air, it's just our energy. Damn, I love the way our bodies communicate. Lust in your eyes, desire in mine. Put the two together, we gon' have a good time. Made you climax, finish with a kiss. And when you left the crib, you put a nigga on the block list. He traveling from coast to coast. He a military man of high morals. Finding himself at the whims of another man. What he does in the dark, only he knows. Protect and serve, that's his job. He gonna make sure wifey always got a smile. He ain't gonna be the reason that she ever cry. And if he break a heart, no doubt it's mine. Protect and serve, that's his job. When he make it home, he forget about his crimes. Reality is I'm in his dreams. He shaking that night. Call it PTSD. She like, babe, wake up. Tell me what's wrong. You calling out daddy. Let's go and see his tombstone. Rest in peace to all the hearts that you've taken just to keep a happy home.
You had stories there. It was layers. it was layers. More layers than a wedding cake. That was all right. Let's see what the judges say. We're starting on with Dr. Myers.
Yeah, just to kind of expand off of what Lindo was just saying, I also feel as though there was so much layering happening in this piece. There's the storytelling part of it, right? And the very complicated aspect of the relationship that is being described in this piece. And I think that too, it's enhanced, like the complicated aspect of this relationship is enhanced by your delivery of it, right? Because there is this musicality and this rhythm that you're trying to capture or that you're presenting, and through that musicality and rhythm, you have this repetition. So there's through that musicality, you're trying to communicate or describe or give us a sense of the feeling around this military man, you know what I mean? So the military man, I mean, it's very much, it gives us that, it reminds us of the military, right? Certain rhythms like the, marching and so forth, the kinds of songs that they sing, right? That they sing in the military. But then there's like the juxtaposition of, the man of high morals and then what this person is doing, right? And calling that into question. So there's a disruption of that. So I really love the play on that, right? There's the flow, the flow and musicality, but then there's disruption, like in different ways it's presented through the piece. So I really like all of that, and I'm having a difficult time articulating it, but I think this is a really great piece. Thank you.
For me, I was just enjoying this piece with you. It was good to see you enjoy the performance of this piece, especially after delivering such a heavy poem the first time. I think just the play on the concept was really fun. So I didn't even write a bunch of stuff down. I was just with you, like, okay. I said, oh, shots fired. I really wrote that down. So I could enjoy the fact that, watching you enjoy this poem, especially after, like I said, the first poem was so heavy. And the message behind this poem is still there. It's just the actual deliverance of it, just to see you have that weight not on you so much. I enjoyed watching you perform.
Yeah, I can't say enough good stuff. I feel like, I love that, layers, more layers than a wedding cake. We're going to keep coming back to that because it really is true. And to extend that metaphor, but just like a wedding cake, a good one anyway, holds its integrity. even as it has these additional layers. That's exactly what you were doing. And I have to tell you, I wasn't always so certain, because some of the layers were chocolate, but some were strawberry. So I wasn't always sure that they were going to be able to mesh effectively, or that you were going to be able to hold the integrity. But you absolutely did. I also felt like there was a political subtext that was working through that I really, really enjoyed, because it never was explicitly political, not that there's anything wrong with that, but rather you were looking for the places where the political and the personal overlap. And I thought that was one of the most sort of impressive parts of it. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, I agree. And I want to talk about layering too, because it's true that it was multi-layered. I was really taken by that first image of the intimacy between the man and the woman. I think that's what it was. And there's a climax followed by a kiss, very warm, and then the blocking. So that was hilarious, but also real. Then the idea of the military man as a high moral man, that is a tension, depending on your belief system and depending on who the military man is harming or protecting, because you did bring that in to protect and serve. So it's just so dense, so multi-layered. I really appreciated it. Also like the sing-songy kind of rhythmic, almost like a lullaby-ish kind of feeling. There was this guy back in the day, Longfellow. He would write these very like sing-songy American poems, and that kind of went out of fashion, but I feel like you're like doing something modern with it, bringing a modern layered discourse to something that had fallen out of favor because of the sing-songy nature. So I appreciated what you did with that.
Spoken word to me is the truth told in a clever way.
So poet on deck, we have Amin, and right now we have Proud. Let's give Proud a big round of applause as they come up to the stage.
ทุกอย่างมันโกหกไปหมดเลย ความงาม ความสวย พระเจ้า สวรรค์หรือนรก ทุกอย่างมันเป็นเพียงแค่เรื่องโกหกไปทั้งหมด ไม่มีสวรรค์ ไม่มีนรก ไม่มีพระเจ้า Lies, 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 lies. Everything is so lie. Hell. This is a hell. No, this is not hell. Heaven, heaven, heaven. This is a heaven. No. This is not heaven. Oh, God. This is not true. Why? Why do you don't come to help my husband? Why you give him die? Why? Why you keep me blind? I cannot to see anything. I cannot to see. If hell really exists, why you don't give the bad guy? Go down, go down, go down, go down. Why? It's because everything is not really exist. Everything just lie. Just me. I want to control. I want to control everything. There's no hell, no heaven, no God.
Yeah, one more time for Proud. Y'all just got a one-act play for free. Y'all, you better give it up for Proud. Like, from what I understood, y'all stop lying to her. All right. Alicia, start us off.
Your vocals and your breath control at the beginning was really good. I can appreciate the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like you made sure we understood what you were saying and what you were trying to relay in this piece. I feel like you took some of the critiques from the first time and said, "Hold on, I got y'all," and came back and was like, "You're going to get my point." And I think that your expressions and your word choice is very symmetrical. You do a very good job at making sure that those two things are aligning. And your performance in general is also is really good. The fact that you can go around the whole audience, give eye contact, and make sure all your gestures and your movements are still meaningful is a really good job. Thank you.
I can tell that I'm the new judge on the block. That was terrific. One of the things that I think makes for a really strong performance in this kind of context is a combination of the verbal and the physical, and that's what's so impressive about your work. And I was when I wasn't judging, I still watched you previously, and I saw that that's something that you're working really hard to put in harmony. The physicality, but also the vocalization. And so even when something gets missed, right, that someone can't understand because of language or whatever, it still gets conveyed physically. So there was a kind of unity there, a unification there of ideas and thoughts and motion and breath control. I loved you pointing that out. And language, and a kind of musicality as well that created this sort of total experience for the audience, which I really appreciated. So thank you for that.
I'm not going to repeat everything that was said, but I agree with everything that's been said so far. I also was left with questions. That no heaven, no hell, no God.
Everything just me.
Yes.
Everything
Yes.
just me.
Yes. Okay, then I did get that right, because I was thinking about just being in the present, what is, and that maybe our morality has to come from within. So maybe killing other people or doing harm to the husband or just harming our planet, right, is the problem when we have to be the source of our morality. This is it, right, the present. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, for me, again, and thinking back from your first round performance and what you just shared now, I really appreciate how you fully commit to performing the persona that you're trying to capture in each piece. And in this particular piece, what I really liked was, you started off, and very similarly to last time, right, with the dance and the hands, but it was a little bit slower this time. It was a little bit slower, and then there was the singing, right? And that indicated to me that this was something different. And then you disrupted our expectation by the laughter, and then at that moment, there was a real shift. There was a shift in your performance. And it became about storytelling in a different way, right? Before it was the storytelling through the physicality of the dance and, you know, knowing that there's some kind of meaning or story in the hand gestures and so forth. But now it's the articulation of it in your voice, but then also still combining it with different kinds of things that you're doing physically. Like you're the only performer contestant we've seen today who has used the mic as a part of your performance. Do you know what I mean? Like the caressing of the mic. And is that part of the memory, you know, that's happening here, or the inner dialogue that's going on, or the prayer that's taking place in this piece, you know? It's very captivating to watch. And again, I appreciate the way in which you're expanding storytelling and performance in our space today. So thank you.
Anybody who like speaks Thai is watching this, or you know, back in Thailand going brazy right now. Somebody get her a translator to accompany her to get this performance, because we multiple language people need to get it together. All right, on deck we have Lady O. Don't mind me, people. Don't mind me, people. On deck we have Lady O, but coming to the mic now, give it up for Emmy.
So this is a poem I just wrote. It's called What a Dream. This poem is very close to me, so just bear with me. Have you ever been laying there at 3 a.m, thinking about the pain, clutching on a pill bottle, trying to escape all the shame, hoping that you overdose, trying to run from the pain? No one to turn to, because they all left. Only because you decided to change. Being all alone is a real thing. Trying to ignore the voices in your head, telling you to grab the gun and end it right here. That's a real fear, because I really want to be here. I made so many mistakes, but ain't no turning back, because the past is already set. So I try to look to the future, but it's all blank. I guess I'm seeing death. Running out of time. I guess I'm about to meet death. No one can save me, but that's probably because I'm good at hiding all the pain. But stop, wait. This doesn't change the fact that I'm sitting here with a gun to my dome. Boom, bang. I wake from a dream. Tears in my eyes, I couldn't believe that it was all just a dream. Damn, I thought it was real. Damn, I thought it was a real thing. Gun still in hand, pill bottle empty. So now I have to wonder, was it really a dream? To be continued.
Wow. Thank you for sharing your story, man.
No problem.
Can I give you a hug?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. I forgot we left Professor Quinn.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
You know, the word you appears right in the very first sentence. Is that right? And that is so gripping and at the same time so generous, because it's clear right away that you were inviting us into a kind of sorrowfulness and a kind of despair, but not, you know, in a way that you seem almost confident, almost from the beginning, that somewhere out there there's a kind of there's the potential for shared compassion. And I think that's so generous of you, but I also think that's so observant of human nature, which is you start with the assumption that others, in their own way, right, know something of despair and sorrow and these kind of dark, dark feelings. And I think that in its own sort of paradoxical way offers a kind of comfort, right? Because if the speaker is feeling this and I'm feeling this, then it means I'm not alone, right? So you offer, oddly enough, you offer a kind of comfort in this that I think is just so human and so generous, and such a tribute to your talent. And it just really, it feels like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, not just for the speaker, but for anybody who's engaging with this. So thank you for that.
I agree with the idea of the shared experience, the shared human experience of suffering, isolation. You talk about loneliness. You talk about the physical ways to harm the self through pills, through a gun. It's a dream scenario, but it's also a nightmare that I think you make very vivid. But you also use the word future, and that's where the hope is, I think, in the poem, that there's a hopefulness that you can wake up from this nightmare and be okay. So thank you.
Yeah, I agree with everything that my fellow judges have said so far. I think for me, as I was listening to you share this piece, and there's so much descriptive imagery, right? It's so vivid, as Dr. Watson was just saying. Like, you know, we're carried into this world with you, right? So whether it's a dream or whether it's like a stream of consciousness or whether it's reality, whatever it might be, we're along with you on that journey. And I think that, again, as Professor Eli also said, you know, the aspect that we all have been there in one way or another, you know, that you're exposing these inner thoughts that are occurring, but we also have these negative thought loops that sometimes we fall into, and sometimes they can be very frightening, and we can fall into despair. But the most important thing is how we pull ourselves back up, right? How we climb back out, right? If we find ourselves in that hole and we're getting deeper in the hole, what is it? What is that hope that pulls us out? You know what I mean? And you give us that at the end of this piece, you know? So it's a very profound, very, very deep, very meaningful poem. So thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you for inviting us in at the start of the poem, first of all. I think you, in this poem, but also the first poem as well, I think you do a really good job at just addressing Black men struggles and pain. It's real. It's often that we're told to, you know, or young Black boys are told to like man up and not to deal with those things. And it's a key point where you were asking like about being alone, and then the fact that we know so many people have these struggles and they aren't alone. I appreciate the fact that you were turning your pain into power, and I believe that you have a message that you need to share with so many other people. Keep writing, keep turning your pain into power, because you're doing something good with it. Thank you.
I feel amazing. I feel like I conquered a fear of mine today. I got the opportunity to be vulnerable with individuals I never met before, and also share my poetry. And it was everybody seemed very receptive, so made me want to do it again in the future.
Coming up to the stage is Lady O. Let's give a big round of applause to Lady O.
Sac passé. We are not living at the end of Gaia's time. You see, the time at hand is the death of the global rule, the European god called money. So remember, my brothers and sisters, you see, the people with power will do anything and everything to hold it together. You see the chaos we're witnessing, voter suppression, unmarked federal cops, the abduction of our protesters is the final and last power grab by the disciples of the material false god. They know war will befall the land when, not if, the chosen people wake up from the slumber of the slave labor of working 10, 16-hour day shifts, a new form of chains and whips. My divine beings, are you truly unable to see that the torture never ceases? You still wake up at the crack of dawn and spend the most precious hours of your day mindlessly working in your designated positions to maintain the white supremacist ways. You see, while the masters eats, fucks, and play, you give your life, liberty, and freedom away. Maliciously, he utilizes his free time and social corrupt connections to keep you in a constant state of fear, forcing you to live in dual realities, inducing paradoxal thoughts and ideologies. My divine celestial beings, are you truly unable to see just how genocidal and apocalyptic the powerful players are at hand? For they tremble and buckle at the mere thought of you realizing the godly power you hold as an African man. For we are the chosen people. The truth lies in the Bible, from Jerusalem to Africa to Sudan, Gaza, and Haiti. They continue to enslave us. For one simple truth, they fear us. Our skin so strong against the sun, our muscles so robust, which creates cultural lust. For the darker your skin, the closer you are to the primordial, ancient, earthly kin. This is not the end. Béni soit l'Éternel. Merci en pile.
That was so revolutionary. Like I don't know how you like hear a poem like that and don't want to do a power fist. You
Power to the people.
Power to the people.
We are the 99%.
Yo, oh my God. How do you rehearse your pieces?
This is a gift I truly believe from God, and I think I just embody the words because they come from the soul. You know, it is God that speaks through me. He speaks through all of us. This is not just my own power. We all have it within us. So I say, listen to the call, write it down.
Thank you so much. Let's see what the judges said. Dr. Watson?
I really love that you're keeping with the people versus the powerful theme, the 99% versus the 1%, the people who slaughter others. And it's a call to the many to fight back against the enslavement that you're saying we are still in. So slavery has taken a different form, you're saying. It's the form of 16-hour workdays, right? And moving as if we are drones. Not the drones that kill people, right? But we embody droneness. I like your call out to ancient kin, calling us divine celestial beings. So you are insisting on the 99% being God's chosen people. And 99% is a lot of people. That's like almost everybody. So you're saying humanity is divine and that we're working against our divinity every day by actually breathing, moving, and working for the oppressor. I'm really into your content, can you tell? I'm feeling your content. But it's also that it's the marriage of your content with the power of your delivery. It makes it irresistible. You're also naming things that can't be named in a way right now, fearlessly, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, I agree with everything that Dr. Watson said. I also really love that Lindo asked you that question, and your response to it was, I mean, I can see it, like when you say that you embody the words and that you've been called to do this, and it's a gift. And I feel that I wrote some of those things down, right? Because that's what you're issuing to the audience. You're issuing a call. Just as you have been called and you have answered, you are the vessel to then pass that call forward. And you're saying to the entire audience, I'm issuing this call. I'm the vessel for something else, the divine, right? And now are you going to take the responsibility? Are you going to wake up? Are you going to have the consciousness to answer the call? And then we have to be accountable. We as the audience have to be accountable to answer the call and not sleepwalk, not accept, not be passive, right? And you know, and from the very moment you step on the mic and to the end of the piece, right, where you close it out, you demand our attention and you say you need to step up and stand with me. It's a really great piece, very powerful.
I missed the call and response the first time. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss it the second time. I was in there. I think something really dope about your style, your delivery, and everything that you do when you say it's a part of you. I see that in the sense that it's culturally a part of us and how you tell your stories. You pull those things from inside of you, and even calling out and pointing out the ills of what we have to deal with. It's something internal that is doing that, and it's coming from your soul, and I feel that. I think your movements are just as meaningful as your words. Material False God, I think that was really dope. I think you have a really intriguing way of saying things without it being typical, but it's going to hit the point every single time. I can appreciate that, and thank you for all that you do. You make me feel like I need to do more. I'm like, I gotta get on the front line. I'm not doing enough. So thank you.
All power to the people. Soulful, fearless, direct, explicit. You know, we have a lot of choices that we can make as artists about how we want to express ourselves, and this is not about being a hierarchical. This is the way or that is the way. There's so many different ways. It depends on how one is moved, right? And how the ideas and how the language comes to us. And for you, it comes in this very, very direct way, which I love because it is so revolutionary. But at the same, and it comes in this very bold way. But I love how it overlaps with the divine, and the divine is not an abstraction. Right. Like everything else in your piece, it's about concrete realities and the choices that we make about how we want to confront those realities. So I think that's really the word. You force us to confront things that we might otherwise want to keep abstract or at least keep at a distance. So I think that's a really, really daring act, and it's one that audiences should really appreciate.
Just want to remind everyone, the revolution will not be televised. Oh, let's see. That was one of the most profound and enlightening experience I've ever had. Mm-hmm. It is something to be in a room with other creatives that share the passion that you have for your work, but also to be judged by the panelists who are smart, intelligent people in the field of poetry and English. And they vibed with me. Yo, they vibed. They liked it. They heard me. I've never had a group of people critique me and literally understood what I was trying to say or profess through my words. I am just so happy. I really am. I feel like I am on the right path. I also feel that I hope to God that I can continue doing this work, because I was told today that people felt energized, that they felt called to service, and that is what I'm here for. I want people to not feel comfortable about the atrocities that we are living in right now. I want people to remember that we are divine celestial beings and we are connected. We are all the same. And one day we're gonna get through this. One day. But coming up to the stage is Harry for Rye. Did I say it right? Harry for Rye. Okay, cool. I got you.
There was an old one-eyed lesbian, a room full of desperate souls, and various taxidermy creatures, reflecting my horror in their eyes. My God, I mouthed, what have I happened upon? As I walked past the cycloped woman lover, she asked me for a dance. I politely declined. I was already taken hold of, preoccupied. My wandering took me outside to the deck. Splintered wood and the sea made me melancholic. For what this place once was, I thought of pirates storming the beach, the smell of worn rope and whiskey, making them feel the closest to home those grimy bastards ever knew. Of bogey and bacal, stealing kisses, whispering sweet nothings under a palm tree. Those days are long gone, though you can still catch glimpses of them from time to time. I wonder what type of scum first gathered there, really, if they were even scum, or just the boat salesman looking for a glass of cheap gut rot instead of going home. I should look into the history of this place before I start spreading colorful embellishments. The bar had become weird, but not too weird for me. For most, it's not somewhere to take those not wary of the ways of the world. This place is for lived-in eyes only. I suggest a drink before you even set foot inside. I wished I was drunk every time I went. I swear just that peak intoxicates me. Nothing lessens the blow of weird than a drink. I've seen Limbo, and it's in Key Largo, Florida, feeding upon the good, the bad, the misguided. There's no judgment there, only poison or peace.
Give it up one more time for a hey. You chilling? You feeling? How you feeling?
Lucy.
Hey. Hey. All right, then let us take it to Dr. Watson. If I'm wrong, it's okay.
It might be me.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think
sure,
it
why
might
not?
be me.
Yeah, Dr. Michelle.
It's okay. Yeah, so I really loved how you kept this in suspense. Because at first, as you're starting this piece, and of course I was drawn in by the imagery and the descriptive language. And so then I'm wondering, oh, what is this fantastical place? You know what I mean? Are we in a dream or what is it, And I, say that again? Yes, yes. So by the time we get to the end of the poem, we realize, what you're describing for us, and also, your own reaction. So it's you describing the place. I mean, you're as the narrator, right, or the speaker in this piece, you're giving your interpretations, and so therefore we're seeing it, right? We're experiencing this vicariously through your eyes and through the imagery that you have placed into this piece, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed, the going on that journey and not knowing, right? So the unknown. So we have to trust you as our guide, because that's what you've become for us. You've become our guide through this, and we have to trust you and follow along with you. And so it was really very enjoyable to get to the end and where you revealed, right? We finally have the reveal of what the place is. I really also enjoyed the way that you delivered this, because I think that you had in your tone that kind of playfulness as far as, oh yeah, I'm taking you here, but you don't really know where you're going, you know what I mean? And so I thought, yeah, the way you put it together and the way you delivered it was really well done, so thank you. Mm-hmm.
I think your facial expressions be on point. So like when you deliver a line, it is like literally in sync with your expressions and your tone also. I enjoy your storytelling ability. I think today is like everybody came in here with their storytelling pants on. It was just like, so you had your phone in your hand, but I couldn't tell. You were reading, but you were performing the entire time. So even like the small moments that you look down, I really did. Granted, I'm looking, but I didn't really notice, because even when I would look down, I'm still full on into your performance. I think you do a good job at balancing that. And also just bringing so much of your personality to the stage. I really appreciate that. I think that's hard sometimes. And you like, nope, it's me. This is what you're going to get. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to give you my piece, but you're also going to get pieces of me in that delivery. So thank you.
So old heads like me, we hear Bacall, and Bogart, and we're like, okay, I'm in. So you basically had me at Key Largo. But I'm gonna, and So that's an old head reference, and now I'll make a literary reference to something called pastiche, where there's like lots of pieces of this and pieces of that. And I thought there were literary elements. I felt like I was hearing some Through the Looking Glass or through some Peter Pan, but at the same time we were hearing cinematic things. So I just was really appreciating that this reality was not stable at all, and it was able to take its imagery from anywhere. And the more adventurous it became, the more engaged I became. So I really liked that about it, but it had a kind of, I don't know what else to call it except a kind of old school quality. It felt like, there were times where it felt like film noir, and there were times I felt like I was hearing the best parts of a novel. So I just really liked all of that. I liked the courage of bringing all of that together into a single piece and feeling confident enough that you would bring us where you wanted us to be at the end, which you pulled off.
I wrote down a lot of the same stuff, which means that whatever you're doing, you're really doing it. I also thought, who's this young woman with the Bogey Bacall references? That was a wonderful surprise. Also, I got this absurdist, surrealist feeling from it. And you used the word weird maybe 2 or 3 times. So I think you were trying to like, this is weird. So that was well done too. Again, like Professor Myers was saying, there's this fantastical element. So it seemed like you're walking into, I felt like I was looking at a surrealist painting. I mean, you were able to paint that with your words. So I appreciated that. Thank you so much.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I never considered myself not Black until I moved to Philadelphia. It's been a really eye-opening experience about race for me and myself. So performing this piece again has kind of helped me to reaffirm with myself. It's like, it matters, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. What matters is like how you feel about yourself, regardless of your history, your blood, where you come from, where you are going. What the most important thing would be is to know who you are to yourself, regardless of outside influences.
So many name drops this episode, you thought this was a game album. All right, on deck is 9-5, but coming up to the mic now, give it up for Nam Kid.
Oh, how I loved you. I adored your soul, your smile, my other half. Mundane things being the highlight of my days. I love you. A sentence you uttered before me, and yet only I kept those words to be true. While you cut me with your words, knowing the sword of your tongue would do the trick. Those tears that flowed, creating an uproar, an unbearable ripple of hatred. I hate you for what you did. I loved you. My achievements were supposed to be yours, and yours mine. I never got to tell you mine while I see yours. I check your story every now and then, seeing how beautiful and glowing you are. I say it's unfair. How could you be so unkind to me? The first ever best friend to have, and yet was only for a moment. Moments that should have lasted a lifetime. I loved you. Oh, how I truly did. On the days I want to cry out to the world mad and hug you, filled with tears in my eyes, I do not. So I shut my eyes, and even then I see you. The dreams say what I do not. You are here, present with me. And like that, gone once my eyes open. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. It's unfair, it's so unfair. Why did I deserve your unkindness, your hate that you spat out like venom? After over 2 years, I'm stuck on you like a rotten piece of gum that has fused to concrete. Disgusting. I want to forget you, I don't at all, but why? Our lives was ours and now we live it separately. Is this what love feel like? Does it hurt like hell from the simplest of words and actions? I don't understand. The futures we planned together were supposed to be now, and it has been wiped away. I don't know how to end this poem, nor how to forget and let go. When I see you, it's like nothing ever happened. I miss you all over again. I no longer want to be poetic, but be your friend. Though I know it's not possible, I miss you. I never missed a friend so bad. I never cared so much. Why you out of the few and many? In all the confusion of these emotions, the simple tone that goes, "Oh, how I loved you," plays in my head like the ending of a tale, of a story meant to be taught as a lesson I didn't want to learn from you, that could have came from anyone else but you, and yet you were the final factor. The goodbye I never got, the dance we never sung, the sleepovers we never awoke to, the lies that were silent, and the future that was burned down to ashes, like the bridge you warned me about burning while you were the fire. Oh, how I loved you. I truly did. And you would never understand just how true those words were as the moments of you and I.
Give it up one more time for Nam Kid. Second round blessings. How you testing?
Okay.
You okay? All right, well, then she'll start with Alicia.
I currently don't need this poem for anyone right now, but if I do, I'll reach out to you. Because, that's a perfect, get out my life. I really liked your pacing in this piece. I feel like there was a moment in the beginning where you started, and it's like, okay, she's getting into it. But you turned up, and I could feel, the rev up. I'm like, up, here go the turn up. I appreciated the repetition. I feel like it was almost like a reminder, more so all right, we had these moments. I said I love you, but do you know I really love? It was that constant reminder coming back around after you would drop so much. There's one more. Oh, no longer want to be poetic, just want to be your friend. As a poet, I understand that line so much. I think you have these moments in this piece where it's simplistic, but it's still so heavy and so deep when you look into the lines deeper and the interpretation is there. So I think you did a really good job at painting that picture. So thank you.
That line, I was thinking about that line too, because there's a kind of struggle with language that's going on inside the poem that reflects the emotional struggle. And at some point you realize that if you can just get rid of trying to sort of make it as part of some kind of language or capture it using a particular kind of rarefied or heightened language, then that's going to clear the psychic space, right, to get to the true emotion. And once that happens and we sort of are part of that process, it's very, very, it's unnerving in some ways, particularly for those of us who write. It's unnerving to feel like words are not going to be the thing that helps me access the truth. I'm going to have to put that aside and just confront the truth. And so that struggle is going on two tiers, right? It's going on emotionally, it's going on artistically, and it really comes together in the end in a very powerful way.
So you're talking about something that many of us have experienced, but you're doing it in heightened language and repetition, which as a viewer really took me back to specific moments of that same loss and yearning, which I thought was powerful. You said a line, something like dance like we never sang, a dance that we never sang. Is that what you said? Okay. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that kind of, Emily Dickinson does this thing where she doesn't give you what you expect. And I felt like that's what you did there. I knew what you were going to say. I was like, la, la, la. And then you said that, and I was really blown away by that. And then also calling attention to the poeticness of the endeavor, saying the word poem in your poem, saying that you want something different. Yeah, I really appreciated that too. I just like the way your flow and performance, just the way you just gave it, with the trappings of what you think spoken word should be, but with surprises in language that made it fresh. So thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what Dr. Watson just said. I think for me, as I was listening, I really enjoyed listening to this spoken word poem and the consciousness that you brought to this piece as it being a spoken word poem and the processing of the emotions, right? So there was this level of self-consciousness in the piece that I found very refreshing as I was listening to it. And then as far as the meaning in the piece, I found it to be very thought-provoking. The question that I wrote down is, how do we fill the emptiness that we feel in the moments that the other person used to fill? Right? It's the emptiness. So, I love you, I loved you. Oh, how I loved you. I love you. Like, you kept going back and forth between the present tense and the past tense. I loved you, I love you. So there's that conflict there, right? So the person is not there. There's that loss. The person is gone. But you're filling the moments with the memories of. And how do you move on? You know what I mean? And so, yeah, so I came away with that as far as the message of this piece. How do we fill the emptiness that we feel in the moments that the other person used to fill? And I found that to be very profound. Beautiful. Great job. Mm-hmm.
I think my performance went surprisingly better than I thought because I know when I perform, I tend to speed my performance up out of nerves, but also I speak fast naturally. So, but they said it was good, so I'm glad.
All right, y'all. We got 2 more poets left in this round. And then we're going to choose the top 4. Y'all ready for these last 2 poets? Yes, sir. Yes. Y'all ready like they're the first 2 poets? All right. So on deck is Imani to wrap us up, but coming to the mic now, give it up for Nye 5.
I go by Not 5, and this ain't a woke speech. This is just what it sounds like when you let your soul speak. Embracing life and all the shit it contain. Even pay that price, a nigga sit and complain. There's no fun sitting in rain. Ask myself how I'm gonna get through the pain. The script, I break it down, roll it, and face it. And I'm knowing it's basic, but I still rather hit my hoe in the basement. I'm like the moon, shit, I've been going through phases. All they had gave me was words, now I'm going through pages. You try and fake the funk, but shit, I'm knowing you hate it. I try not to take shit personal, but it felt too offensive. We was niggas way more than a clique. This shit felt too religious. It get different. I'm a witness. I watch niggas switch for riches. I chose to get it on my own. I can't be too dependent. You too codependent. Niggas fake. I can't get over niggas. I watch niggas dicky other folks knowing I'm over niggas. He took the code and flipped it. The shit they condone ridiculous. I seen folks that was just with the plaintiff turn to co-defendants. I'm too cold for niggas. Paved the way, built in the road for niggas. Burnt they bridges. Now they finding ways to get back over bridges. I don't know what niggas. I'm like gold to bitches. Stay away, I'm mold to niggas. Slowly killing you surely as I grow with niggas. I tried to tell them, they gon' tell you that I told them niggas. On cameras, no commercials, I showed them niggas. Yeah, showed them niggas. And if you ain't giving game, you just an older nigga. I might play and joke with niggas, but it gets serious, I'm furious. So don't be the cat that's too curious. Tougher to access, getting harder to contact. Know the game, you got ball through the contact. It's combat. Not even just with Smithins. Pay attention, comrade. Sticky business real too. Better read all through your contracts, yeah. Format too compact. They contrast and compare my bars to theirs. They doing rhyme checks. Look, ain't no challenge, that's wombats, the bobcats. I'm doing side stretch, making side bets. So put your bid in. I'm like La Russell, it get different. I spit expensive. The cloth I'm cut from, shit authentic. Don't think they get it. This shit can switch up any minute. Life of a tenant. Don't pay that price, you get evicted. Hits turn to misses. Them fists turn to switches. I'm just trying to teach it's cool to be different. It's cool just be yourself because people lose from trying to fit in. The rules gonna stay the rules. It's up to you to pay attention. A fool gonna stay a fool. I let them dudes stay independent. So I choose to keep my distance because I'd be a fool if I didn't. Yeah, and I'd rather keep the loot, keep the attention. Shit, if I could choose, then I choose to keep the riches. But I guess they come in twos on some twin shit. Shit, I guess they rather lose me than admit shit. I know that half is the rule is to forget shit, but I'm supposed to not remember putting my all in forgiveness. That's why I pick and choose who I be friends with. It get rocky. Niggas think you just could cruise through a friendship. It get shifty. They be shifting. They get bitchy. Then start switching. Shit, I be more conflicted than it seem. I don't know what it is. My brother be telling me it's in the water, but I'm starting to think it's in these niggas' genes, for real. Yeah, running through their bloodline. I get mine because I want mine. Yeah. Thank you.
So how would you classify yourself? I feel like you do a little bit of both, like poetry and rap, or do you find yourself going to one side or the other?
I'm not gonna lie, I really do rap for real. Like,
Okay.
and I just heard about this poetry joint. I'm like, why not? For real. So I just
That was such a Philly response.
no, for real. Why not?
Say less.
So, yeah.
What just did we leave off with? I believe we are back
I
at
think we
Dr.
left it-
Myers.
yes.
All right, Professor Quinn.
I was blown away.
Thank you.
If the measure of intelligence is being able to make connections between a variety of different ideas, then that's the most intelligent thing I've ever heard. There were so many ideas coming at us, rapid fire, as Dr. Myers likes to say. But at the same time, one seemed to logically, organically, unexpectedly connect to the next. It was breathtaking, that kind of making those kinds of connections. And that is both, I'm sure that must have been satisfying for you as an artist, but it's also satisfying for the audience, you should know, because it means that even as these ideas are coming at us, we're able to hold tight. You know what I mean? You're taking care of us, which is a very, very generous thing to do as an artist. But it can also be a very, very rewarding thing to do as an artist. So it was intelligent, it was rewarding, it was generous, and the profound quality of what you were saying, it just shined through.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I was writing things down, and I just said, I want to just enjoy this. I don't want to write. I want to listen. I want to feel. You have a remarkable talent and ability to make the connections, like Professor Quinn was saying, but it's fun. And then the way you use the word nigga, it's the way it's supposed to be used. Like, that's what I was thinking too. Like, there's family there, but it's still, you know what I mean? So I really appreciated that. There's something about the way you are speaking that is so pleasurable. It like brings pleasure, the pleasure of poetry, the pleasure of words, the pleasure of wordplay, the pleasure of connection. Just outstanding. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you get up on that mic and you just kill it. I mean, there's no other way to say it. You know, you just get up there and you kill it, you own it. And yeah, I mean, you do spit kind of fast, but I follow everything. You know, I'm following everything that you're saying. And you have I mean, in this piece, I mean, just the piece before that you performed in the previous round as well, but in this piece, there's so much complex rhyme schemes. You have the internal, you have the external, you have the word play, right? You have all these, you flipping things, you flipping meanings, right? And you're constantly shifting, and it happens fast, but I mean, we're along for the ride with you. You know what I mean? Like, we're riding with you, and I love that. I mean, I found that, you know, that the entire performance to be, I did the same thing. Like, I was just like, I just want to listen. I just want to watch. I mean, that's how enjoyable it was for me. And I also love how you start with the, you know, I don't know if it's a ritual for you or not, but like starting off with, this ain't no whoop speech, is how you sound when you let your soul speak. And you get yourself, right, in the zone, and we're in the zone with you. And we're like, oh, we better hold on, you know what I mean? So you killed it. Yeah, great job.
I really can enjoy the authenticity behind your words. The line in the beginning script, I break it down, roll it, and face it. You have so many of those double entendre lines in there where there's like multiple meanings, and you just gotta catch it. Like, you just gotta catch it. If y'all ain't catch it, y'all gonna have to watch this episode back. Cause I promise you, it's probably something in there y'all didn't catch. I'm writing over here, like I'm listening, I'm writing, and I'm like, you challenge my my inner poet that was just like, let me make sure I catch everything. I'm a fan of yours. I enjoy everything you do with your lyricism. I think you do one of my favorite things about just poetry, rap, and any manipulation of words. You make them work for you how you want it to work for you, and it's dope. Like, the meaning is dope, the placements is dope, the reaction that you'll get from the audience, but also watching you enjoy what you do is really dope. So thank you.
I would ask my friends, like, did it move them in a way? Like, did it impact them in a way besides it just being hot? Like, if they could give me a message, what did they receive from it? Do they feel better than they did before they heard it? Probably some other stuff too, but just more, get them to answer the question in more of a way than just like 2 words.
We're down to our last poet for the second round. We didn't show them as much love as the first poet of the first round. Let's give a big round of applause to Imani.
Okay. I killed anxiety. Yeah, it's me. I did it. I killed anxiety till she was still. I killed anxiety because she tried to kill me. She convinced me to plant a tree so I could breathe, but it was a tree standing right next to me. I hate anxiety, but anxiety loves me. Anxiety wasn't good to me. You see, anxiety she convinced me to go to the park at night. I did make it home safe, but I forgot my mace, so anxiety, she'll kind of do that to you. She's not disciplined enough for me. Anxiety is just too much. She tries so hard to befriend me. Anxiety is so annoying. I told her, hush. She's so loud. She told me I should sit down. And now I'm meditating on the ground. Anxiety has to go. I couldn't take it anymore. So yeah, it's me, guys. I killed anxiety. She wasn't a good friend to me. No, I didn't turn into Wolverine. I didn't drug her out and feed her wings. I just told her to her face, the next time that she came to be my friend, that I don't want to be hers. Anxiety is giving me negative vibes to me. It's giving sabotage. Clock that thing. She was never my friend, but she spoke so sweet to me. And I couldn't trust her, so I killed anxiety.
Give it one more time for Imani. Anxiety, a snake boy.
Ain't she?
Man, yeah, man.
Can't trust her.
Can't trust her. All right. One more time with our round of judges. We're going to start it off with Dr. Watson.
So I love the personification of anxiety, where anxiety is a she, she's too much.
Too friendly.
Too friendly. She sabotages. She has negative vibes. She's loud. She's sweet talking.
Yes.
So in that sense, you really, through word choice, imbued anxiety with very specific meanings for you, which can be seen as universal for other people, I think, because other people can tap into what that anxiety can do. It can also force you to do things. Like you're saying, anxiety, she has this power to make you sit, close your eyes, and meditate, unless you meditate with your eyes open. That's possible, too. And then you kill anxiety, which is a kind of powerful stance. But even after you supposedly killed anxiety, she comes back?
Yeah.
So she can't actually be killed?
She doesn't die.
She doesn't die. So in that sense, it's kind of it's even though it's a very serious subject, it's also a kind of fun exercise, I think. So thank you, Imani. I appreciate that.
I had notes here that were very similar to what Dr. Watson just shared. I really liked that you gave anxiety you personified it and you gave it these qualities. While I was listening to you, I was wondering if anxiety, was a friend, like an external friend in this personification, or was it like a part of oneself, like a part of the speaker? You know what I mean? Like this voice, the voice that's in our head that, brings those fears out, right? That self-doubt and that self-sabotage and so forth and so on, which is, okay, I'm going to claim my power. I'm going to claim my power and stand in my power. And, but then it creeps back in. It creeps back in.
So I did kind of use her as like a friend, like as an actual person.
Okay.
I kind of thought of it like when you at school, right? And you're new, and somebody just keeps trying to let you know what's going on around here. That somebody wants to let you know. You kind of want to figure it out yourself.
Yeah, I think that's a very clever way to present this, and then also getting the audience to think about, that kind of toxicity, and recognizing when it's in our life, and then the process that has to happen in order to try to cleanse that toxicity out of our life. Do you know what I'm saying? It's an ongoing process. So I appreciated that message. I also appreciated the way you delivered it. I loved your vocal variation as you were delivering your piece. So really great performance of the piece as well. You're welcome.
I can appreciate the piece from the poetic standpoint, but also just like mental health. I think that I always appreciate poems that I don't always hear topics about. And I think that people often forget that anxiety for some people is really bad. I think this is a way of bringing back awareness to that, and also for yourself, just embodying the fact that I have the ability to kill this, or at least to allow it to subside. Even if it come back around, I'm going to put a little pause on you. I think you do a really good job at touching on the weight of that, but also balancing that out with your power. And I think that the poem is well written, so thank you.
There's something about the title that, this is going to sound like a weird connection to make, but there's something about the title that immediately makes you think of, police procedurals and that kind of stuff. It's like, uh-oh. But, there's two different kinds of police procedurals. There's the whodunit, where we don't know who did it, and that's the whole point of watching. But there's also the howdunit, right? Where somebody says, I did it. I did it. And then the pleasure is in finding out, the how and the why. And that is exactly the same pleasure of listening to this, right? You are very clear. It's very clear who killed anxiety, right? There's nothing to discover there. But what's interesting, the discovery part, is finding out the why. And also there is a kind of, to keep making sort of these TV analogies, there's also that kind of like Freddy Krueger thing where it just won't die, right? So I feel like there's a way in which that kind of a familiar storytelling trick, right? I did it, but, keeps the audience engaged in the how and why in a way that's really rewarding.
Yep. Thank you.
Give it up one more time for
I loved it, actually. I felt like my feedback was good. I felt like I got to, like my message was understood. It was stated, and they got what I was trying to say.
So if you're keeping track at home, that was our last contestant of round 2. Give it up for everyone who has touched stage so far. Give it up for our awesome judges who have the very difficult task of choosing the top 4 from this a dais of amazing contestants today. I give it up for the judges. Give it up for our audience, be it live in studio or at home. In no particular order, our top 5 for today will be moving on to the final showcase on November 1st. We have Nye 5. Yes, please. And this is in no particular order. Next up, we have Lady O.
No, top 4.
Next up, we have, and bring it in like you love us. Bring it in like you love us. No, bring it in. Next up, we have Nam Kid. And last but not least, going on to the final showcase, we have Mar. Please give it up for your top 4 of today. Let them pose. Let them stand on. Let them stand on. Go ahead. Stand on real quick. Let them get out the way.
I was like, oh.
Y'all top 4. Act like y'all top 4.
Hey, we did it. Thank you.
Y'all top 4. Final round of November 1st.
All right, so these top 4 contestants will be moving on to the final round to compete against 12 contestants where they will be doing the same damn thing with more poetry, more feelings, and more attitude, because it's community, and that's what we build here, a community of creatives. So we want to thank the viewers, we're going to thank the judges, and we want to thank CCP TV, and we'll see you at the final showcase of Drop the Mic. Thank you so much. I'm Lindo Yes.